ha 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 ha. I get it now.
I don't. What was that?
I was trying to do
2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh.
When they found the big pillar.
Yeah. Is that what you're referencing?
And it changed forever. Changed humanity forever.
Oh, because the next consoles live up to their promise.
Exactly. Yeah.
Got
So this topic of conversation is: did next gen consoles live up to their promise? That's the question we're asking today.
They did. Thanks for tuning in.
Oh, that was
it.
That was it.
We'll dive into it.
I wanted to look into the next generation now that we are roughly 3 years into the console generation. This is the ninth generation of consoles that began in November of 2020 when we had the PlayStation 5 and then the Xbox Series X and S come out during COVID. Nobody could get them for years. And then all of a sudden, people were able to get them. And now they're in the hands of millions of people around the world. These consoles were offering faster computing power with support for real-time ray tracing, 4K, and in some cases, 8K resolution, with rendering speeds targeting 60 frames per second or higher. The big thing with both of these was a solid-state drive that was going to eliminate or remove or reduce or eliminate loading times and allow for in-game streaming. And then some of them started going down the path of no digital drive, no optical drive, to where you just like could buy it and you just download stuff off the internet. So that was the kind of the big promise was the super fast speeds, the 60 frames per second, 4K graphics, 8K ray tracing. PlayStation specifically also had their haptic feedback in their controllers.
Yeah.
Remember they had the cards that pop up when you're playing the game that's like, here's a tip about how to beat the game.
Yeah.
All these different things. So my question to you guys, looking back on the system, I know most of you guys have PlayStation. I'm the only one with an Xbox Series X. But do you think next gen consoles have lived up to their promise?
Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Please.
Me?
You go for it, Jason.
Okay. I think so. And like when it really hit me that it lived up to that expectation and that promise is whenever you and I had our PS5s and we were playing Breakpoint and Sam still had a PS4 and we jumped into the game and we were in the game like that. And Sam was still loading in. It was just it wasn't even a couple seconds. It was like almost a minute of Sam still waiting there for us. And I was just like, holy shit, this is like amazing.
Actually, us waiting for her.
Oh, us waiting for her. And like, it blew me away. And I never realized like how much I miss loading screens because that was my time to take a break and look at my phone or something because someone texted me. I was just like, man, this is phenomenal, And then also with the controller itself, I have broken already a couple controllers already, but the haptic feedback with like the controller system and stuff, I love it now. I love it so much, especially playing like gun games and stuff like that, just feeling that tension and stuff. I highly enjoy it. And then the graphics alone, dear Lord, playing their first game, what was that? Returnal, and then Ratchet and Clank, it was just eye candy the whole time. Just everything about it. And that's why I'm like really thinking about picking up Final Fantasy 16 because that's all I'm thinking about right now is playing that. Because I just recently turned on my PlayStation like yesterday, ever since I moved to the apartment, because I've been playing on PC a lot with these guys. And like, I love my PlayStation 5. I take it everywhere I go. It's like the perfect console. I thought I enjoyed my PS4, but this, I am always on it all the time. Before I got a PC, I was always on it. So, yeah, I fucking love it.
And that PC.
Well, I have more options on PC, but like for single player games, that is the console I will most definitely go to no matter what.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically I agree like 100%. Like playing the games at launch, like Miles Morales and Demon's Souls or Ratchet and Clank, and going through the menu system, just like the operating system works so fast, so flawlessly. Yeah. Loading these games takes seconds, like if that, and it's just like immediately you could tell like, all right, this is a huge upgrade.
Yeah.
Like especially from playing freaking on the PS4 Marvel's Avengers, having load times and stuff and all these weird things that would happen with that, and then playing the updated PlayStation 5 version, it was just night and day.
Yeah, you can like clearly tell this is way different. This
I can
is
see
a next.
clearly now. The pixels are gone.
This is like the next step to gaming, and like you can like with the other consoles, you couldn't see that like big change until you got this one.
Yeah.
And you got this one, you saw it, and you're just like, I am so content and so happy with this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
100%, man.
What about you, Brett? You about to fucking shit on our dreams?
I actually was.
Go ahead.
But you guys kind of convinced me the other way. I was like,
Oh, look at that!
so, I mean, I agree 100% with you guys. I mean, like when this first came out, especially, it's like, I mean, it was a mind blowing difference of like,
Yeah.
I was finally able, because I mean, for the longest time, PC has been the superior platform to play games on, both on a visual perspective, performance perspective, everything. And then this was finally a time where I was like, my PlayStation plays better than my PC.
Yep.
And I spent a shit ton of money to even get it remotely close to get 1440p. Now, granted, I have higher frame rates now on my PC. And that is one negative I have about this generation is I feel like the promise of everything 4K 60 frames per second was kind of like snake oil in a way, because like they have not been able to deliver on that promise in a lot of ways, because many games are like, oh, you can get 60 frames per second, but you got to drop to 1440p if you want to do that, so you're going to have a quality degradation. And I'm like, I wanted the 4K 60 frames on everything, and we get it with first party titles like Spider-Man and on Ratchet and Clank, but third party games definitely don't always deliver that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I jumped back into you'll hate me for this, but I jumped back into Saints Row for a hot minute.
Yeah, he told me that as soon as I walked in. I just wanted to walk right back out and like, you're fucking dumb.
This podcast is over.
Yeah, and they have, you know, the performance mode, and then they have the 4K mode, and it's just like crazy how much slower it feels when you can go from 60 to 30 that fast. And I'm nervous about Starfield for the lock. Well, I'm getting on PC, so hopefully it'll have the unlock frame rate there. But it was just surprising to me how many games still, like, I always run performance mode, and it sucks because I'm not getting full 4K. Like Horizon Zero Dawn or Horizon Forbidden West, I didn't run max performance because it was 30 frames. So I had to drop it down to 60 or make it 60, but then drop down the resolution a little bit. So I lost ray tracing. I lost some of those big promises of next gen gaming. And that was the thing that kind of bugged me a little bit, was that it's not 4K 60 frames per second that they said it was going to be. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it still looks damn good in most cases. I just was like kind of hoping for a little bit more.
Yeah, it happens to Miles Morales, because you can make it quality mode, but yeah, it's like it's going to be 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of the PlayStation proper games, like you can do quality and or performance, but the difference is not that striking.
Yeah, I think in like
Ray
Miles
tracing,
Morales, I
obviously,
think
but-
all they're doing is like, I think removing ray tracing.
Yeah.
But I think it stays 4K. So it still looks amazing, you know? So like, but there's certain games that you can definitely tell it's like, oh, it dropped to 1440, or it, you know, sometimes even dropped it to hopefully not 1080, but you know, it's, yeah. So that's something that will take place. But I loved the idea also of like the loading screens going away, but I feel like that's kind of disappeared, as in like the loading screens have gone longer. I feel like since, like, unless it's a first party game, like God of War was super fast, but I feel like every game I buy third party is going to have like a loading screen that's like comparable to my PC or whatever. And I expected that to be more non-existent across the board, but instead it's like, if you're buying a PlayStation game, you're going to get it. And if you're buying anything else, you're not. So that was kind of surprising to me. So those are kind of my negatives. It's like, I mean, the promise was kind of delivered, but not quite fully delivered for me. Because the only
there was an
promise here
asterisk.
was improved promise, or improved quality and speed. That was the big thing. Well, plus new UI, but you expect that all the time.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's still, there's some work to be done there that wasn't quite achieved. But looking at the examples that you guys gave, it's like going from PS4 to PS5 was
Yeah.
like a huge difference.
Oh, man. It was
For sure.
great.
I just kind of expected a little bit more, I think, and maybe that was to my own, you know,
Yeah.
like,
Well,
demise.
I was in the same boat you were. Like, I'd rather play on PC before the PlayStation 5 for a short time until I got my laptop. Like I was like, yeah, it just runs faster, runs better.
Yeah.
The game's looking fantastic. Like we should play on the PlayStation 5 more. But then, yeah, because I had issues with my PC that are now resolved. But I will say that on the cosmetic side of PlayStation, they did kind of drop the ball. Yeah, now they have like new controller colors and stuff. But like you have those you have the face plates. They can come off. They could easily make new plates that you could buy to put on your PlayStation. Like I feel like that's a missed opportunity. Like why have that if you're not going to do anything with them?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you take them off and you can get into your PlayStation if you need to repair it.
Right.
But that's about it.
Yeah. It is kind of weird. I do wish they had kind of like leaned into that a little bit more. I mean, I like the look of the PlayStation, as it is, but I think the fact that they are so easy to detach, it would have made sense to be like, oh, hey, you can buy these, faceplates and, make it more yours.
Yeah.
Because the Xbox Series X is just, not a beautiful looking device by any means. But the PlayStation has a lot of potential to really like have some cool pops of color and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about the haptic feedback in the controller for PlayStation, the DualSense? Like remember, I mean, that was such a big selling point. You can feel the arrow, you can feel the swing and the triggers. And stuff
I
like
love
that.
it. Like when a game doesn't have it, I try to figure out how to get it on there. Because like, I think Assassin's Creed didn't have it for the longest time whenever I purchased it. I was like, it should be on here. And I keep looking through the settings, maybe it just auto turned off or whatever. But it turns out there was an update coming out to have it later on. So a lot of games don't support it, especially games that are not Sony only exclusive games. But I really enjoy it. And like I miss it a lot whenever I'm playing on my PC using a controller. I'm like, man, I just want that haptic feedback all the time. I really enjoy it. So
Yeah.
It can help. I mean, Ratchet & Clank, I think it felt the most real. Before that, we played something else that had it, and it just did not help. What was that
Borderlands?
game? No, the other one before that, or after that.
Returnal had it.
Not Returnal.
And
Was it
Returnal
Tiny
had
Tina's Wonderlands? Or
It was like Borderlands.
It was like Borderlands.
It was
Tiny
like,
Tina's Wonderlands.
yeah, no, before that, or after that. No, you know what? Maybe that was it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think
That was one where it was just like constant and you're
Yeah.
like always pushing against the controller.
Yeah. No, I always felt like, I'm playing Spider-Man again, and it has that too, but sometimes I'm using it, I feel like I'm fighting against it. I'm very aggressive with my controllers, I think. I'm just like, just like using a lot of force, and I think I fight against it sometimes when it's not supposed to, or
You're
it's
supposed to fight against it. That's the idea. The
Okay.
tension, it's that tension.
Yeah, I
that-
guess so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Ratchet & Clank, it really like shined. But other than that, it's kind of been like, okay, it's there, cool, I guess. Like, didn't do anything for me really.
Well, that's my other reason I bring it up is because when it first came out, it was really cool. Every game was supporting it, or
Yeah.
every PlayStation game or whatever. It doesn't happen anymore. Like I don't have any games that actually like utilize it. Like
Yeah.
I've played so many games on there, and it's like, granted, there hasn't been a lot of PlayStation games that have been released recently. I mean, we had last one was God of War Ragnarok, which did use it a little bit, I think, but
It did.
I can't remember what it felt like that much.
Yeah.
But like Spider-Man, I definitely remember feeling it. Ratchet and Clank was a big one. Miles Morales was a big one, or Spider-Man, obviously. But it just hasn't. My point is, PlayStation had so many features that they announced on the PlayStation 5 that have become gimmicks that have fallen off.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
The haptic
the
feedback hasn't
controllers.
been fully supported. The whole like tips and tutorials that you can access from your start menu
never use that.
never gets used
Yeah.
or supported. Half the games don't even build it into their system.
But I feel like every console does that though. They have
Well, I
some
know,
kind of gimmick
yeah.
and shit. But like,
it's just like I hate the gimmicks. Like bring a gimmick that's gonna be cool,
Because the PlayStation controllers are haptic, they're now $70, which
Yeah.
is the price of a game.
Yeah.
which I have a lot of them because I break them. That's another issue
Yeah.
with the haptic feedback. Because whenever I realize it's not there anymore, I realize it and I just can't play. Like,
I do like the controller though. I feel like the controller is really solid.
yeah,
Feels really nice.
PlayStation 4 controller is $60, so I guess it's only $10 more. But maybe it's not worth having it for $10 more.
I mean, that's fine. It doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the haptic feedback component to it. I also like just the feel of the controller better. But
definitely.
It's just something that like I wish they lean into more, or just made it easier for developers to kind of take advantage of it, because it just seems to be like it's just that forgotten thing that was like a launch sale, but now that it's out, it's just like nobody really gives a shit.
Yeah. And the same thing about the little flashcards that pop up.
Yeah.
It's like, no, I don't use that. I don't use it at all. Like, it's just in the way.
Yeah.
Let me get to the game. But maybe some people, unlike us, like would actually use it more than we do. I don't know.
Well, they're just not there. That's a problem. It's like I would like, because I love it when a game does support it and it tells you like, oh, you're 30% through this mission, or you're whatever. Like, I think the last game I played that did that was Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It supported it. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I'm like almost done with this mission, or I got 30% left in my story, or whatever it might be. Or you can get tips and videos that pop up, which are nice, but that's like 10% of the game supports that.
Yeah.
So that was a shame. But I think performance-wise, they've done a great job. I mean, my PlayStation 5 has been awesome. Series X, too, like, has been good. I don't use it as much as I thought I would. Because there's so many games I just like, I'm on my computer already. I'm just going to play on my computer. But, it's my Game Pass machine, basically. So
yeah, definitely.
that's what it's there for. And it does play games really well and smooth and everything. But the updates, though, is not as, for being a Microsoft device, it doesn't handle update. Like the thing's supposed to be on right now and like just downloading stuff in the background. Shit. It doesn't. I turn it on. It's like, you have a 15 gig system update.
Ugh.
And I'm like,
damn,
serious? So it's like every time I turn it on, I have to sit there and wait to be able to play it. So it's kind of like bullshit. Whereas like PlayStation is really good at like, it's always in rest mode and it's always updating shit in the background. And I usually don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's always on. It's always doing its thing, and I never have to worry about anything. Unless I start a game up. No, not even that. Yeah, it's always going. It's great. I love PlayStation.
Yeah.
What's Xbox? I don't know.
Yeah. The interesting thing about Xbox too is they were really big about pushing the switch between games. It's like, oh, you can like switch between multiple games really fast.
Who the fuck would want to do that?
I know. It's like I've never done that in my life. I mean,
well, maybe you're playing like
hard drive's too big.
Maybe you're playing Spider-Man and your boys are like, hey, let's play Destiny.
Spider-Man on
Let's play Destiny, and you're just like, shoop, I'm over here.
Yeah.
Was that only on Xbox?
It's only on Xbox. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, because that was one thing that I was like surprised PlayStation
games
didn't have.
they don't have enough games to switch back and forth on.
Yeah.
What's the point? Holy shit.
I think that was a gimmick. I mean, they're all fighting each other. Like, who has the cooler
gimmick
console for you to buy?
Yeah.
So that was like probably one of the things. Like, oh, look what we can do.
Yep.
It's not really a thing.
So next generation, or next half generation, PlayStation 5 Pro coming maybe in a year, maybe two. I don't know. What would make you buy it?
Nothing. I don't need 8K because it doesn't. It up-res 8K, right? It doesn't actually do 8K.
Now, yes, but in the future,
it would just be native 8K.
Native 8K, yeah.
If my PlayStation took a shit, I guess I'll buy it. That's the only way.
I mean, yeah, seriously.
If it took like a major dumper, then I guess I'll get one.
Yeah,
I don't have a reason for it.
I mean, we have the original waves that have the bigger heatsink, which is already a huge plus for our PlayStations for cooling. And I mean, I guess the hard drive isn't that big, so they could add a bigger hard drive.
Yeah, but it has that whatchamacallit you can just purchase and install it.
That's true.
That's what I did with mine. I got like 1 terabyte on there now.
Nice.
Along with my other memory.
Nice.
It was very easy to install. It was very convenient. So,
well, since I really don't play enough on my PlayStation. I just play normally PlayStation proper games. Like I just delete a bunch of stuff I don't need.
Yeah, I need to do that today.
I never
delete a bunch of shit.
I never have too much on my drive. So
that's how I am too. I just have the select games that I know I'm going to be playing and move through them.
Yeah, like I really don't know. Like maybe the cooling system could be better. It could get quieter. Maybe you have a slimmer console. I think that was a complaint. It was a little too fat.
Yeah, it's a little big.
Yeah.
They're thick. It's a thick boy.
It's a thick boy.
Yeah, if they can make it more portable, that'd be kind of nice. It would be nice to like be able to have one to like take to an event or something like that. That was more practical. But
yeah,
I also like don't know if I want to take my PlayStation to an event, so I don't want anybody to touch it, So there's also that, but I
come
agree.
over, LAN party, rank the LAN party.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to, but you could do that.
Oh, I would. Yeah. Well, not with PlayStation, but yeah.
Yeah.
I want them to make it 60 frames per second, guaranteed in 4K all the time. Then I'd buy it.
Nice.
And 2 terabyte hard drive
Nice.
instead of 1.
Nice. Yeah, 2 terabytes would be good. I don't think they would be able to do that. Maybe PlayStation proper games they could, but I don't think they could do that with all games because it's up to the
4K,
it's up to the game producers, developers to make that happen. So
Well, hardware has to allow too.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think Final Fantasy, for example, probably doesn't have the potential to do that.
No.
Which is why it's about to explode their consoles.
It's barely
Like,
holding
nope,
on.
Not going to work today.
Man, you make me want to play that, but then you say that, and I don't want to
know.
play it.
Exactly.
It makes me nervous
Like,
for
what
sure.
the heck?
Yeah, I was listening to somebody talk, and they were like, "Yeah, they played like 6 hours straight of Final Fantasy 16. And they thought that their PlayStation was going to explode. Like it was just like jet engine fans like blowing like crazy. So I think it's just small doses. You got to play a couple hours at a time and then move on.
I turned my laptop up full blast. It sounds like a jet engine.
Oh yeah,
Oh, I know
yours
yours
most
does,
definitely
yeah.
sounds like it's going
but
to take
like
off.
I've let it do that like all night before, and it's fine.
For now,
I mean, yeah,
slowly your battery life's getting
just
slower.
getting
and
lower and lower.
Eventually, your computer's just going to be like, I can't turn on anymore for you. Sorry, you've worked me too hard.
you worked me too hard. Slap that ass, computer ass.
All right. Next gen consoles. Did they live up to their promise, everybody?
Mostly.
Are you going to get a PS5 Pro? Are you going to get an Xbox Series X 2.5?
Was it Series X Elite or something?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Check out one of our videos.
Yeah. It's got a lot of views somehow. It's crazy. Yeah, share us your thoughts about the next generation of consoles.